Hey, I've just been thinking about my Rectenna system for the DC Lite wireless system. Now, I have another idea, but first of all, just if you're interested, I'll demonstrate the original idea. So this is basically the existing system. Now, I'll try and explain this. So the circles either side are simply the torus. So imagine that coming out of the page all around, then into the page and around the back. So that's like a slice, and that's literally the torus going around, okay? And that's a torus, and that's the torus. Like this torus, and this torus. And so each torus does a push-pull with the DC line and with capacitor across it. The DC line itself is like a long capacitor, but I'm adding capacitance at each point. And so as you can see, I've got a diode going from the torus to the positive DC line, and a diode from the torus to the negative line. And so that's the push-pull, and we got the push-pull there and the push-pull there, okay? Now, down at the bottom, my connection to ground is halfway between positive and negative between two capacitors. And that's what got me thinking. This is my point between the positive and negative. So instead of having we're just working with three tori, I think is the plural of torus, or is it toruses? I would make the whole system active. So here's my thoughts, and tell me what you think. So I can have my ground and a capacitor isolating DC from ground, and this is just my own symbol that I created for my magnetically variable inductor. Okay, looking like a little toroid. So a magnetically variable inductor for tuning. And as you can see, so that's its path to ground via a capacitor, magnetically tunable inductor, and then to the halfway point between two capacitors and two diodes. And this way then, if this becomes more positive, then current will flow across to the positive, and if it becomes more negative, then current will flow across to the center. And it will just keep doing this push-pull sort of across ways. And then, of course, I can do numerous of them. And perhaps at the top, I will also then have a torus that is center to the system, not bias on either the positive or negative. For example, or I could have a vertical wire, whatever. I haven't decided that yet. I'm just more so looking at this. So then, of course, I could make quite a long system, like a full-size vertical antenna, with loads of these. And when the system's tuned to resonance, it may well be able to illuminate light without me even transmitting a local signal. For example, if I set it up this way and had absolutely shiploads of this scenario going on, of course, still with this, I haven't done this. Oh, it's kind of good. Yeah, so the center run right up is the one that I tune to resonance. And it has the diodes and the capacitors and would create the bias. Now, interestingly enough, I haven't charged this up since last night. And today, I've literally shorted out the capacitors for prolonged periods over and over. And the last time I did that was about half an hour ago. And yet with the multimeter across, it's slowly rising by itself. It's now at 0.826 volt DC. It does gradually rise to just under 1 volt all by itself. Yet when I check with this detector, this is not a very hot area. As you can see, I'm getting very little. Like when I compare with, if you see my previous video, like my range hood, and you'll see I get close to the range hood, and there you go, we've already got over half a volt, and if I touch it, wow, look at that, 10.23 volt DC rectified off the range hood. And so, but even in the middle of the kitchen, for example, we'll look at this, what my average is. This is a fairly hot spot, and move over here to near some power points and things, move a bit closer. There you go, 3 volt. But over here where this system is, there's really not a lot of action going on at all. So I'm going to suspect that this rise that I'm getting is just the memory effect of the electrolytic capacitors. But we'll see. And that's the interesting thing, though, that rise that it's showing, don't forget, this is with the diode, sorry, the LED across the system. So the LED is actually still across the system, and that's, so it has the load, but that's still showing this voltage at rest and slowly rising. So let me know what you think. Do you think this idea, this alternative idea, will work? I mean, it's kind of a head scratcher, because you could imagine, when it's receiving signals to rectify, so you could argue that, if an incoming wavefront occurs and this and this and this all become more positive, then what is there to drive through the diodes if it's all the same? But I'm assuming by tweaking the center one to resonance that this will then be the thing that creates that action. It's a bit like the center wire becoming the torus. The torus is doing a push-pull, push-pull. In this case, the center wire is doing the push, pull, push, pull. Tell me what you think. 7-3, and thanks for watching.